ceilings. Speaking of one of those no ceilings guys, Steph Curry, remember he was questionable with a bum ankle. Hit that decisive three over Nene in the clutch.
NBC Sports Bay Area. Steph, what do you take from this game in general? Just the things you liked about what you guys played and maybe some things you want to work on?
On turnovers, we got to get better at that, get better possessions. It's always interesting that first game against a new team and a new series where even though we're very familiar with what they do, you still got to adjust. See the pictures clearly on offense, where the driving lanes are, where the spacing should be. Just playing under control. Those things we can get better at defensively. Continue to do a good job of being mindful of fouls, or do a better job, I should say, to myself. And I think the great things were we just kept our composure all game. I felt like we never really lost control of the game, even when they went on a couple runs. KD was special down the stretch in the fourth quarter. Everybody was locked in defensively, trying to make him take tough shots, and you live with the makes and misses. Rebound the basketball, and obviously it just mattered. Getting a win is huge to start the series.
Third row, left-hand side.
Tim Kawakami, Athletic Steph. When you went back in 6.5 minutes, whatever left with the 5 fouls, you were still playing pretty aggressive defense, and I would say you were reaching a couple times even on. How easy is it for yourself just to forget about the 5 fouls, or forget about the possibility of fouling out, or is it out of your mind in that situation?
No, I was mindful of it. I think I got one situation where the ball is right in front of me and impulses take over, but for the most part, I can't be passive, but I can be smart, and I've talked about it a lot since, game 2 of the Clippers series. I'm going to figure it out eventually.
Second row, right-hand side.
C.J. Peterson, San Francisco Examiner. Steph, we also asked Steve about the foul problems, and he even said he went as far as to ask your mom to help out with that. Did that happen, and is there any way to avoid being at the mercy of the refs' whistles?
I mean, there's going to be calls that go either way every game. But the ones, like I talked about, where either they're blatant reaches or ones that I can avoid for sure, that's where you get in situations where it puts your butt on the side, on the bench. So, I mean, honestly, there's no reason I should be in that position after how many questions I've been asked about and how disappointing it is when I mess up the rotation with fouls. So I mean, we won the game tonight, got away with it, got to be better.
Third row, middle.
Yeah, Steph. Tony Harvey, Sacramento Observer. What is your thoughts about the way Kevin been playing, and he's ending the last series and going into this first game?
He's been amazing. He's been so aggressive on the offensive end, finding his matchups, taking the shots. Defensively, he's been present. And he just understands kind of what we need when we need it. And, he's been playing, with ultimate confidence. I know he always has confidence, but it seems like it's been amped up a little bit in the last 5 games. So we need more of that. Understand how hard it is to win, one playoff game, let alone a series. And we all got to contribute as well and play Warrior basketball, as well as him doing what he's doing.
Third row, left-hand side.
Steph, we always talk about the players showing urgency, having energy at the beginning. Did the coaching staff show you some energy by going to Andre right off the bat? Game 1 of a series, usually these things happen later by, playing Kevin as many minutes and everyone else as many minutes. Did you see a little more urgency out of the coaching staff too?
I mean, we had a quick turnaround, and we obviously were very familiar with what they do and what matchups and lineups kind of have historically worked. But again, it's on the players, and when we don't do it, we get called out. But when we do, it's nice that vibe and that energy is kind of contagious to start the game. Draymond was unbelievable in that aspect defensively, and then turn those into fast break opportunities, pushing, he's playmaking early, and he showed a different level of intensity that we all fed off of. And I know he took responsibility for Game 5 in the Clippers series. Seemed like he was definitely purposeful about his energy to start the game, and that helped us.
Anything else right here?
Marcus Thompson, The Athletic. Clay, Steph, you've been next to Clay for several years. Is he talking more trash? Is he more like
Who's he talking
confident
trash
out there?
Who's he talking trash to?
I mean, I don't know. It just
You
looks
tryna
like he's
start
talking
stuff?
trash.
What you say?
It just looks like he's very it looks like he's really talkative out there, like he's really confident in the group.
I saw him a couple of times after a couple of questionable foul calls, whatever, getting real amped, and I don't know who he was talking to, whether he's talking to himself or whatever, but I like engaged Clay. That's whatever that means, where, you see his passion and his awareness of what's going on, and you can see how much, playing well and being in those moments means to him for sure. But I don't know who he's talking to, if it's trash talk or whatever, but it's just engaged Clay that we need.
Second row, right-hand side.
Huh? There you go. Got you.
Second row, right-hand side.
Steph, considering, don't mean to bring everything up with the foul trouble, it's been kind of a hard thing for you to kind of get your, kind of gain momentum and kind of get stability as far as your game goes. How gratifying was it to hit that dagger of a 3 at the end of the game? Then you kind of weren't able to get established early on.
Just gotta make plays when it's called, when the moment is calling for it. So, my reaction was I just needed one go down, and it was obviously a big one. So, thankfully I hit it, gave us a little cushion, and we were able to win the game. So, every game's different. Game 2, got to continue to be a little bit more aggressive, understanding, the defensive style that they play, and try to create, whether that's getting shots up, playmaking from my teammates, whatever it is. And it's full 48 out there, so it was a nice moment for sure.
Shelley Smith from ESPN. Steph, you and Clay both obviously rolled your ankles, but you played a lot of minutes tonight. How much does the medical staff get you guys ready to go tonight? And we'll get you ready to go on Tuesday.
Yesterday was a long day. In the treatment room for a long time, and they were unbelievably helpful in terms of getting us ready to play and give us the best opportunity to be out there and not let this be a lingering effect throughout the series. So I think we got through game 1 fine. There's still more work to do in terms of making sure we're getting back to 100%. But with the less than 48-hour turnaround from game 6 to game 1, it was mission accomplished. And now getting ready for Tuesday is just another grind. So be ready to go.
Standing left-hand side here.
Steph Jett from the World Journal. So James Harden shoot 9 for 28 from 9, and he got 3 times 24 seconds violation. So what's the key to the defense?
He's an amazing player, and he's always on the attack, and you got to be aware of every possession where he's at. And Coach talked about it. We obviously need that first line of defense, whoever's guarding, to try to make it tough on him. But at the end of the day, it's all 5 guys being on the string and being able to help and recover out the shooters and things like that. And understanding how much he has the ball in his hands is tough. You can't get deflated if he makes a tough shot. The best thing we can do is just, again, not foul unnecessarily, and just again make him take tough shots. And he could, next game it could be the same defensive intensity. He can make a couple more, but the approach has to be the same. The attention to detail and awareness, all 5 guys, and it's a long series, so you just got to try to wear on him as much as possible.
Second row, right-hand side.
Punchano John Mello, I have a question. What are the things that you need to consider in winning this playoff and to advance in finals? And since 100 million Filipinos are very excited with you, Steph Curry, what can you say?
This is a great opportunity. Every time you're playing on this stage in the playoffs, it's so much fun, and competition is high, and the spotlight from around the world is on you. So our mission is take it one game at a time. Doesn't matter how it looks as long as you win, and confidence is high, in what we're capable of, and getting the game 1 win was huge. Got to continue to build momentum throughout this series.
One last question, right-hand side, fifth row.
Colin Ward-Henninger, CBS Sports. These two teams are obviously very familiar with each other after playing the playoffs and during the regular season. Did you notice any difference with the way that they were guarding you tonight, or are they just doing kind of the same schemes?
They like to switch a lot, and they have very capable defenders on that side that you got to be aware of. But for the most part, a lot of our turnovers are just rushing and not having the floor as space as we want to. We had moments where we figured it out and we got the ball moving and made them make multiple decisions on defense. But if we get those turnovers down and just get shots up, we know good things will happen. So with that quick turnaround, again, it's tough to adjust from one style of defense like the Clippers played to tonight. But we figured it out, got the win, and we'll be better game 2 for sure.
Great, thank you. Appreciate that. We'll send out our schedule.